living in North Korea is, well, we really have no idea what it's like. The most enigmatic country in the world isn't very keen on sharing information about its situation. So the only information we have comes from state media or from defectors who manage to cross the DMZ or escape, safe and sound from North Korea. Naturally, both portray a contrasting image of the lives of millions of people in North Korea. As you can imagine, both sources of information are not entirely reliable. However, with a little more research and cross-referencing, we can sketch out how people live in North Korea and how the man in charge, Kim Jong Un, lives a life of absolute luxury, while his subjects are, well, let's just say not so privileged. Here are 10 instances where Kim publicly demonstrates his godlike status in the so-called true palaces of Korea. Here are 10 instances where Kim publicly demonstrates his godlike status in the so-called true palaces of Korea. Palaces. In a country where the average citizen's salary can make his piggy bank look like a treasure, Kim Jong Un's homes are a testament to the stark contrast between the elite and ordinary people. While most North Koreans are focused on making ends meet, their leader is busy living the dream. Or should I say multiple dreams in various palaces. Kim has 14 prominent palaces that he constantly rotates for security reasons. The hardships that the dear leader must endure for his people. When it comes to houses, Kim Jong Un doesn't settle for ordinary dwellings. He likes opulent palaces and luxurious residences that would make even the most extravagant Hollywood mansions look modest. The first one is the Kangdong residence, summer retreat and Kim's second main residence. Aside from the Ryong-song residence, tucked away in Kangdong-gun, a suburban county of Pyongyang, this paradise spans over 4 square kilometers, while most of us settle for a barbecue area. In the backyard, Kim enjoys an estate with an elaborate garden surrounding serene lakes. The whole complex is safer than a bank vault, with armored fences, guards, and checkpoints. So while we worry about home security systems, Kim is probably enjoying his morning coffee under the watchful eyes of guards and the peaceful sounds of the nearby Taedong River. Have you ever wondered where Kim Jong Un escapes to in moments of peace? Well, at the residence of the North Korean leader in Sinuiju. This luxurious retreat, inherited from his father, Kim Jong-il, offers Kim Jong-un an escape from the political hustle and bustle. Located near Sinuiju, this residence, nicknamed the Central Luxury House, exudes a charm that rivals the glitz of a Hollywood mansion. And who wouldn't want that? A beachfront mansion with pools, tennis courts, soccer fields, and water slides. This residence shows that even a leader needs some leisure. Let's not forget the Wonsan residence, Kim's coastal getaway that he apparently loves, as much as President Trump likes Mar-a-Lago. With its expansive beaches, tennis courts, soccer fields, and even a sports stadium, Wonsan is more than just a residence. It's a playground fit for a dictator. It's rumored that Kim prefers this retreat over his bustling capital, maybe to avoid the prying eyes of his political elite. These are just 4 examples of Kim Jong-un's lavish living. He has 10 more just like it, or probably even more luxurious. Unfortunately, there's no information about these palaces, except that they all have private train stations and most have horse ranches. And oh dude, Kim loves his horses. Horses. When you love horses, there's no price you won't pay, whether it's building a luxury stable or condemning your subjects to starvation. Over the past decade, Kim has spent $10,000 per horse, and he bought over 138 horses for $584,000. And the truth is that the servant leader loves to ride them. As for the horses, I guess they don't get as excited, but horses are more than just an obsession. Do they serve more to show off his status in North Korea? The surreal image of Kim Jong-un straddling a regal white stallion, Making his way gallantly through the snowy terrain atop the sacred peak to mountain, it might seem hilarious to many Redditors and 9gaggers. However, for the North Korean public, who have no reference outside the country, this appears majestic and noble. Making his way through the snowy terrain atop the sacred mountain peak to with gallantry may seem hilarious to many Redditors and 9gaggers. However, to the North Korean public, who have no reference outside the country, this seems majestic and noble. The bold propaganda move seems almost like Kim wants to star in his own blockbuster in this winter wonderland. Equestrian enthusiasts have noted that his riding style is surprisingly commendable. A defense reporter even tweeted, "He's not pulling on the animal's mouth. His leg is basically underneath him, and the horse seems reasonably relaxed." Who would have thought that Kim Jong Un would earn the appreciation of the equestrian community? Plus, the white horse isn't just a mere accessory in North Korean tradition. It symbolizes Kim Il-sung, the revered founder of the nation. Kim Jong-un's equestrian exploits are, in essence, a great visual link to his grandfather's mythical battles against the Japanese occupation, as well as a nod to Kalima, a legendary winged horse capable of extraordinary feats. Behind the spectacle, there's a reality. Kim's horse passion signals his strategy. Mount Pictou, a historic area, aims to boost patriotism and show strength. The stunning walks on Mount Pictou, an area deeply intertwined with the country's history. They are an attempt to reinforce national patriotism and project strength amid international pressures. However, while having a huge collection of horses might seem like a waste of money, when your population is on the brink of starvation, it's by no means the most outrageous purchase of the beloved leader. A collection of pianos. When your population is on the brink of starvation, it's by no means the most outrageous purchase of the beloved leader. Piano collection. There are many secrets about Kim Jong-un, but one thing is absolutely clear. Kim loves music. His favorite bands usually enjoy great prestige in North Korean society and lead extremely lavish lives. At least one thing we have in common with the DPRK. Also, the servant leader likes 80s Western classics and some K-pop. He even has a live band of 13 musicians that plays K-pop songs he can't listen to otherwise. As you can guess, the servant leader isn't very welcome south of the DMZ. And K-pop artists are not very fond of going to Pyongyang, especially when they're called a vicious cancer by Kim himself. Like any crazy dictator, Kim also goes to extremes to show his passion for music. While a normal person might be content with having just one piano to serenade in their living room, Kim Jong-un has decided that 20 is the magic number for his melodic aspirations. Yes, did you read that right? 20 pianos. To put things in perspective, that's enough pianos to throw a big party. With the ability for each piano to be assigned its own unique musical theme, the Supreme Leader's diverse piano collection has found a home across his multiple residences. Presumably so that each piano can enjoy a change of scenery every now and then. Now, one has to wonder whether Kim Jong-un's piano skills are on par with the magnitude of his piano collection. The truth is, nobody knows. There is a certain mystique surrounding his musical prowess, or lack thereof. Legend has it that whenever he embarks on a piano purchase, he brings with him his faithful retinue of workers. It's safe to assume their main goal is to praise him endlessly and declare him the greatest piano virtuoso in the world. And heaven forbid a wrong note slips from his fingers. It's clear that it's the piano's fault, not his. Still, there's no news of any broken pianos. So I guess the guy with the weird hairstyle really loves pianos. It seems that the leader of the servants also appreciates other luxury items. For example, his collection of watches. Watches. Kim Jong-un has an unusual passion that often gets overlooked amid discussions about his political maneuvers and nuclear ambitions. His fascination with watches. This obsession dates back to his student days at a private school in Switzerland, where he developed a taste for these time-telling accessories, which has only grown over time. His watch collection, valued at around $8 million, shows his penchant for luxury. However, His watch hoarding took a hit with the imposition of UN sanctions in response to North Korea's nuclear program. Given his ostentatious tastes, one might fear seeing his wrist adorned with nothing but bare skin. It must have seemed unsettling to him. Interestingly, Kim's choice has not only caught the attention of watch enthusiasts, they have sparked speculation about his health and even potential political changes. His ever-present IWC, Schaffhausen Portofino, seemed to cling to his wrist, which led observers to connect the fit of his watch with his apparent weight loss. Beyond aesthetics, Kim's watches carry a geopolitical significance. Extreme intelligence agencies are examining his health to assess the stability of his regime and its possible implications for regional security. Given North Korea's possession of nuclear weapons, amid all this intrigue, Kim Jong Un's watch collection becomes a unique window into his world that reflects his eclectic tastes, his health concerns, and even the power dynamics of his regime. Not like the expensive purchases we'll talk about next. This is purely for pleasure. Private jet, the leader isn't exactly well received in most parts of the world, but when he ventures beyond his country's borders, he does so with a touch of extravagance. His preferred mode of transport is his private jet, but when he ventures beyond his country's borders, he does so with a touch of extravagance. His preferred mode of transport is his private jet. The Anil 62 or Second 62. That has gone from being a relic of the Soviet era to a luxurious retreat tailored to his desires. Surprisingly, when it comes to planes, Kim prefers Soviet models over Western brands, probably for security reasons. He relies on the Il 62, a plane designed as a counterpart to the United States Air Force's aircraft. Although it's a relic in most countries, in North Korea, it represents the pinnacle of luxury. In particular, Kim owns 3 identical Il 62 jets, which ensures his security by keeping potential threats at bay, without knowing where he is. Each plane, acquired in the 1980s, underwent a $3 million renovation, maintaining the Soviet-era exterior while redefining opulence on the inside. The interior of the plane features executive-style leather seats, desks, and intricate mahogany panels, ornaments made from precious materials like ivory and silver. Crystal ashtrays and glassware complete the sumptuous decor. The importance of having 3 planes for a leader who rarely travels abroad and usually prefers domestic train trips might seem puzzling. However, Kim's actions stem from his well-known paranoia. The leader knows he has a target on his back. That's why he prefers to have 2 other planes filled with loyal supporters and other officials as decoys. The leader knows he has a target on his back, so he prefers to have 2 other planes filled with loyal supporters and other officials as decoys. While flying, this private jet embodies the dictator's contradictory style of ruling North Korea. A mix of outdated Soviet technology and modernized luxuries. The only exception to this style is Kim's yacht. Secret cinema, having a private and ultra-luxurious movie theater, isn't that rare for the ultra-rich. Still, most of them don't publicly denounce the film industry. Needless to say, though, Kim has a really fascinating private cinema. However, Kim Jong Un, who is more into music, isn't behind this venture. His father, on the other hand, was a big movie buff, so of course, he ordered the construction of a private movie theater with 1,000 seats. I don't understand why a 1,000-seat cinema is needed, if regular theaters have about 200. But hey, I'm not a communist. Leader. What do I know? From private establishments. And if you think the Kims only enjoyed purely North Korean movies, you're very mistaken. In fact, Kim Jong-il had over 30,000 copies. Copies of Hollywood blockbusters. Some sources say he especially liked Titanic and Gladiator. It's most likely that his collection was pirated, but if it had been bought, it would have cost over $600,000. Since his father's death, it's most likely that Kim Jong-un uses the cinema to watch basketball games, since he likes the sport way more than TV. I mean, watching the sport, not playing it. Of course, with his true passion for food and alcohol, it's hard to imagine Kim as any kind of athlete. Spending on food and drink, Kim really lives like a king, one from the 16th century. Of course, he throws autocratic banquets while his subjects starve, and he sees sweating as a sign of strength. Famous for his love of spirits, Kim's preferences have evolved with the changing political climate. Now he prefers vodka, and it's said that he spends over $171,000 on this Russian liquor. His annual budget for champagne also amounts to about $140,000 and around $70,000 for beer. This important allocation for alcohol puts his annual spending on drinks at over $1 million. However, insider sources reveal that his cellars are packed with top-shelf whiskey and champagne, valued at an astonishing, a figure of $30 million. Kim's appetite goes beyond alcohol, and it extends to gourmet cuisine. In stark contrast to his famine-stricken country, the North Korean leader enjoys a whole array of delicacies. Some of his favorite dishes include Italian pizza, high-quality pork from Denmark, and Iranian black caviar, Japanese Kobe beef, and fruits from all over the world. This lavish lifestyle costs him several $1,000,000 a year. Amid concerns about his health, his weight fluctuations and eating habits have been closely monitored. His fondness for high-calorie foods and alcohol has led to speculation about his health, and some reports suggest the development of health problems such as gout. And if you think food is the only contrast between Kim and his people, so it's clear you have no idea who he really is. Kim Jong Un. Yacht. Valued at around $7 million, Kim Jong Un's extraordinary 60-meter floating palace is more than just a boat. It's a statement of his disdain for the Western way of life. Despite the UN sanctions on luxury goods in North Korea, Kim managed to acquire this luxurious gem from Princess Jouts. The yacht plays an important role in Kim's getaways, especially to his private resort island. The details about its interior remain a secret. Aerial photographs reveal the presence of a pool and multiple luxury decks, all adorned with extravagant amenities and entertainment options. The appeal of the vessel has even caught the admiration of one of his close friends, Denise Rodman, who described it as a blend between a luxury cruise and a Disney one. Kim's yacht acquisition highlights his taste for the finer things in life. Regardless of global politics or public opinion, this maritime masterpiece not only allows him to sail the waters in style, but also underscores his commitment to indulgence. In a country where luxury is a rarity for most. Like all aspects of his lifestyle, Kim Jong-un's yacht is a reflection of his complex and often contradictory personality, one where the pursuit of pleasure sharply contrasts with the reality of his nation's struggles. Personality, where the pursuit of pleasure sharply contrasts with the reality of his nation's struggles. Pleasure Squad. The dark and twisted tradition of the Pleasure Squad has left a disturbing legacy in North Korea's secret regime, started by Kim Il-sung, the founder of the nation. The Kapumjo, or Pleasure Squad, was designed to provide entertainment, often of a sexual nature, to high-ranking officials and their families. Made up of about 2,000 women and girls, these groups were selected for their looks and their skills in singing, dancing, and giving massages. During Kim Il-sung's reign, girls as young as 13 were forced to provide this service. Their innocence was exploited, forcing them to become pleasure women for powerful officials, subjecting them to invasive medical exams to prove their virginity. The twisted belief that associating with virgins allowed the leader to absorb their life force intensified this exploitation. The girls were taken out of schools, and their parents had no say in the matter. They were told that their daughters were on a critical mission to serve Kim Il-sung. This tradition continued under Kim Jong-il's government, with lovers and even other members of the Kim dynasty. Participating in the twisted cycle of exploitation, members of the Pleasure Squad were divided into several units, and some provided sexual services. During Kim Jong Un's reign, the pleasure squad ceased to exist and later re-emerged, with new girls and women recruited for this degrading practice. Defectors' stories reveal North Korea's dark leadership. The pleasure squad highlights leaders' exploitation. They can marry a high-ranking official. Where twisted traditions persist amid a facade of secrecy, the pleasure squad stands as a stark reminder of the disturbing practices upheld by leaders who exploit their power and the vulnerability of those they have no choice but to serve. The only relief they have is that once the beloved leader discards them, they can marry a high-ranking official. This guarantees them a relatively safe and easy life compared to many others. In North Korea, well, not as good as Kim's own. Do you want to know more about their day-to-day life? Check out my video about a day in the life of Kim Jong Un.